recognized in his or her place, and I am such. Yes. So that's why maybe I've been working on this project for so many years that it has not gone into the mainstream. In fact, I'm wishing and I'm thankful to the Ateneo for this opportunity that perhaps because, well, Imperial Manila has the eyes of the media, then maybe this is a chance for rainwater harvesting to be mainstream.
Okay. Are there questions from the group? Or from those out there in the, how do you call it, spillover room? I think they are passing around some sheets of paper for... Okay, sir.
My name is Rudy Galang. Rudy Galang. Do you think you can do it again in the other provinces in Panay, say in Capiz, Aklan, yeah, in Antique?
Are you from the place? From
No.
Panay Island?
I'm from
Okay.
Quezon City.
Ah, okay, sorry.
So maybe it's a question of replication.
Ah,
And are you willing to
replication.
do it, and what
Uh-uh.
does it take to replicate a good
Ah.
technology?
Okay. Actually, my first project on rainwater harvesting was in Capiz. And from the latest data I got from the provincial government of Capiz, in 10 towns in the province, 65% are using rainwater. And in 3 towns, I think coastal towns, 90% of the households use water. They have over 1,000 rainwater tank, but that's only for household rainwater. So the technology came actually from Capiz. The question on replication, we have training materials. The Department of Agriculture asked us if we can give a training on rainwater harvesting, and because they will include that in their budget. I don't know when it will come. Maybe after the election. Okay. Yes.
Do you think the DNR, the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, has learned from you in your approach or your strategy in planting trees in denuded mountains? Have they learned from you, do you think? Or have you teach them? Because you said it is very costly for them to plant trees and you spend only very little.
Mhm.
Do you think they adopted your method of planting trees?
Okay. Actually, the latest state university, or the Visayas State University, the VISCA, LSU, now, no, I don't know which one comes first, LSU or VISCA. They came up with they have this study. They made a study of the amount of water that exotic species could take from land during its growing season. They found out that Gemelina, mahogany, and these exotic species, fast-growing species, are voracious drinker or eater of water. And so they came up with a new program called rainforestation. They don't want to use reforestation, which signals the idea that we just plant trees, like in a plantation. Rainforestation to this new technology is creating a space where that can promote biodiversity, or an environment for biodiversity with trees already growing in the area, plus other things that a real forest should have.
Ma'am, a related question. Can you please tell, this is from Vicky, from the spillover room. Can you please tell us what species of trees to plant in the watershed? For example, we learned from Iloilo stakeholders that mahogany is not a good species to plant because it is water thirsty there? Thank you.
A watershed encompasses the forest. There are agricultural land and also built-up areas or cities within the watershed. So if you are planning to have a tree farm, go ahead. Why not plant fast-growing species? Then after 12 years, you cut them down and sell them. And while they are growing, they can sequester a lot of carbon. But if what you want to do is to create a forest which can bring you water and soil, then you must use the trees that grow in that place. The trees na hiyang doon. Kasi kasama niya yung hiyang, ang mga decomposer, yung mga uod, lahat. Without the uod, without the worms and the fungus and the bacteria, the leaves and the twigs of the trees will not decompose, and there will be no soil. There will be no minerals to replace the minerals which have been eaten by the trees. It is said that a single tree in its lifetime can eat 100 pounds of minerals from the soil. But that same tree can also replace double the amount from its twigs, from its fallen leaves. You know, it's a beautiful natural way of keeping our forest. So maybe what's referred to is the rainwater harvesting project. No? The family, the mother or the father, they just observe. We ask them to observe the behavior of water in their farm. Where is the water coming from? Where is the catchment of the rainwater? Is it a hill or is it a flat land? And if it's a hill, how do they protect that hillside so that they'll get more water into their ponds? And then we ask them to record also or to observe the trees the crops na hiyang doon sa amount of water they have. One interesting example is this farmer in Cabatuan, when he was complaining at first that his pond is always empty with, sabi niya, this is useless. I don't have water in my rainwater pond all the time. But then the wife observed that downstream of the pond, there is now a rich gabi, plot of gabi, and they made money out of that. So it was explained that the water was not retained in the pond, but the water was kept in the soil and served the crops downstream. So just observe. There is also another enterprising pond owner. He increased the area of his pond 5 times. So when I said, wow, I was afraid. I think something bad would happen with this experience. But he told me, don't worry, I have already computed how much will I gain by increasing my pond. And you know, so he put hito, and one harvest he was able to get much. And another innovative thing that he did was to sell water, because his pond is a bit higher than the rest of the farmland. He gives them water, and he charged 40 pesos per hour. Patubig sa baba. Just an innovation. Because when there's rain, the water will go. Where will the water go when there's rain? Out to the sea, to the river and to the sea. So why not retain water somewhere? We do not have lakes, much of these lakes anymore. We don't have wetlands. So where will the water stay? In fact, in in urban areas, if you